to ask the Scottish Government what its response is to the reported comments by the Auditor-General for Scotland suggesting that Prestwick Airport will continue to require millions of pounds in continued public funding while it remains in public ownership.
Minister Ivan McKee.
No loan funding has been provided to Prestwick Airport since 2019, and the budget makes no provision for additional loan funding, as we do not envisage any being required in 2023-24.
Brian Whittle.
I thank the Minister for that answer, but when the Scottish Government bought Prestwick Airport in 2013, it was right to do so. It was a necessary step to protect this valuable national asset and help to sustain thousands of jobs in the local economy. Since then, the airport has received over £43 million in loans, of which £31 million has already been written off. Last week, the Auditor-General gave evidence to the Public Audit Committee, saying he expected that millions of pounds being spent every year to sustain the airport would continue for as long as it remains in public hands. Does the Minister believe this is sustainable either for the airport or the public finances?
Minister.
To be honest, I'm not sure on what basis the Auditor-General made that statement, because for the last 3 years the business at Prestwick Airport has been profitable. As I've indicated, we have no indication that there will be any further additional funding required in this financial year, and we expect that profitable position to continue into the future.
Brian Whittle.
Again, I appreciate the Minister's answer. I think Prestwick Airport has got immense potential. I think we agree on that. As a base for Scotland's growing space sector, as a cargo hub, as a research space, even as an aircraft recycling facility. But to achieve these goals requires investment far beyond what the Scottish Government can possibly commit. The airport needs and deserves substantial private sector investment that secure its future, create jobs and grow the local economy. Given the Scottish Government's unenviable record of over-promising and under-delivering with other public sector buyouts, does the Minister accept that the greatest value for taxpayers and Scotland's economy from Prestwick Airport can be achieved for returning it to the private sector and not leave it relying on public sector-funded life support indefinitely?
Minister.
I agree that the airport should return to the private sector when we've got a buyer that's able to purchase the airport with a solid business plan and is able to fund the investment that's required. I'm glad the member acknowledges that we were correct to buy the airport back in 2013. He'll know that at that time the airport was losing money, and of course, a matter of record, the Scottish Government put in funds up to 2018, but since 2019, as I've indicated, the business has been profitable, and the Government hasn't put any more funds, and we expect that to be the situation going forward now that the business is back being profitable, with a significant increase in turnover over that period of time. But as I say, we are interested to hear from anybody, any prospective buyers who would come forward and to have a conversation about the future of the airport, because, as the member rightly identifies, the future of the airport will be in private sector hands. Also worth noting that the Auditor-General made the comment on his appearance on the committee recently that, and to quote, "we haven't formed an overall value for money judgment on Prestwick specifically." So I know there was an overarching comment he made about public sector interventions, but that's what he had to say on our intervention on Prestwick Airport specifically.
Siobhan Brown.
Thank you, Presiding Officer. I am grateful the Scottish Government saved Prestwick Airport in 2013, and over the past decade we've seen the surrounding area support over 4,000 jobs and attract global companies to base themselves at Prestwick as one of the leading aerospace hubs. Prestwick Airport was also a really integral part of the £80 million Ayrshire growth deal, and although the Scottish Government still seeks a buyer for the airport, does the Minister agree that it is really important that any such buyer of the airport supports the long-term economic vision for the area?
Minister.
Yeah, I think the member's absolutely right. She correctly identifies, as all members that represent the area recognise, the value of that aerospace and space cluster around the airport. The value of the Mangata inward investment that was recently announced is testament to that, with almost 600 high-paying jobs in the space sector and other investments from private sector businesses that are taking place around that cluster. So we think that's hugely important, and it's important that the future of the airport is considered in the round with our aspirations for Ayrshire and for Scotland as a whole in the aerospace sector and in the space sector going forward.
Willie Rennie.
I'm a bit puzzled about what the Minister is actually saying about the Auditor-General. He seems to be in conflict with what the Auditor-General has said. So could he clear up what discussions he's had with the Auditor-General to resolve that difference of opinion? And can he explain why that's come about?
Minister.
I haven't had any conversation with the Auditor-General. I had a look at his audit committee appearance just before I came down, and I've looked at the numbers on Prestwick Airport, and I can state the facts. And the facts are that no money has been put in since 2019. The business has been profitable for the last 3 years and continues to be profitable, and with no expectation that that will change this year. So, as I said, the basis on which the Auditor-General made the comment that millions of pounds are still being used to support the airport on an annual basis, I'm not clear where that's come from.